Robert with Threefold Defensive Training. We're going to talk about the safe handling of a single action revolver. What with it being on the news lately, figured it's a good opportunity to go ahead and take advantage of this while we're talking about it. First thing we want to do is go ahead and note that the gun is in half cock. And what we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're just going to show that the gun is empty. There are no cartridges, period, in any of the chambers inside the cylinder. Okay. What we want to talk about is the proper technique for loading, for decocking this gun. When we do that, the idea is to keep as much safety involved in this process. So I'm going to switch over to a right-handed view. So with the gun fully cocked and ready to be fired, finger off the trigger, what we want to do is we're going to take our non-shooting thumb, reach over the top, get it in between the hammer and the chamber itself. Then we can go ahead and touch the trigger, lower the hammer until it passes through the half cock stage, immediately take our finger off the trigger, and then continue to lower the hammer down until it is safely down so that we don't accidentally discharge. That method right there seems really labor intensive and there's a lot to it and it's very intricate, but that's the safest way to decock a single action revolver. Why is that the safest way to decock a single action revolver? Well, to fully understand that, you have to know that a single action revolver, the single action portion is talking about what the trigger does. The trigger performs a single action. All it does is release the hammer forward from a fully cocked position. So notice my finger is going to touch the trigger. Nothing can happen here because the trigger doesn't do anything until we fully cock the gun, and then we can basically pull the trigger and we can release the hammer. Does that make sense? Excellent. Okay. What we've heard recently is that you can pull the hammer back until it's almost but not quite cocked and then let go of it and it will fire. That's not actually true. In order to do that in an almost cocked position, it would have to bypass the half cocked position, which we can only do if our finger is on the trigger and we let go of the hammer. So there are a couple variations in single action revolvers. We've been doing some research and found out that you can actually, from a pre-half cock position, release the hammer without touching the trigger and it will fall forward. But that's not the narrative we've been told. So there are a couple of different variations with transfer bars and safety bars that have been built into the guns, but that's not what we're trying to address here. What we're trying to address is that from a fully cocked position, the safest way to decock a single action revolver is to place your thumb in front of the hammer, keep your shooting thumb on the hammer, go ahead, touch the trigger, release the hammer forward, take your finger off the trigger and continue to lower the hammer down until it's fully positioned over the back of the gun. Any questions? Awesome. Thanks.